Powered by Virginia Radio.
Peace, y'all. How y'all doing today? It's Mobitis. I'm here with my co-host
Lisa, the goddess.
and we also have the goddess Miss Ebony here. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Hey y'all, it's Eb Nicole. Hey y'all, it's Eb Nicole.
That's it?
Yeah. Well,
Okay, okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. Listen, it's my first time around people again in a long time, so bear with me.
It's all good. It is okay. So listen, welcome to where the streets meet the spirit. Here, Goddess Talk, we cover a little bit of everything from our neighborhoods to our walks of life to just everything that's going from taking our people from a low vibrational state to a higher vibrational state. And you can do that anywhere that you are. It don't matter if you are in the streets.
That's right.
Or if you are in the church or
That's
wherever
right.
you are, you can still vibrate on a higher level. So that's the whole goal for Goddess Talk, Ebony, and we like to officially welcome you.
Yes, welcome.
Finger
Yes,
snaps.
thank you. Finger snaps.
Yes. Now, I wanted to read something real quick. And I wanted to start this show off with this because what it's going to do is it's going to cover a little bit, or it's going to give y'all a bit of insight. What's going on with my thing? It's going to give y'all a bit of insight on why I think how I think, and a little bit of insight on my reasonings when I'm explaining a lot of things that we're going to be talking about today, okay?
Okay.
So, where I'm coming from, because a great reporter or a great vlogger always quote their resources or cite their source, as you learn in school. Where I'm coming from, the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Circle 7. And it's just something really, really quick that I just want to read. And it says that perfected man must pass through all the ways of life. And so, a carnal nature was full manifest, a nature that sprang forth from fleshly things. Without a foe, a soldier never knows his strength, and thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. And so, this carnal nature soon became a foe that man must fight, that he might be the strength of Allah made manifest. Let every living thing stand still and hear. Man is the Lord of all the planes of manifest, of protoplast, of mineral, of plant, and of beast. But he gave up his birthrights just to gratify his lower self. And I want to end that right there. But I want to repeat that one thing. Man, and when we're talking about man, we're not talking about a man with the penis. We're talking about spirit man. We're talking about the essence of us. That includes
Right.
the original first man, the one man, a womb man,
Yes.
of course, in all ways. So it says that man is the Lord of all the plane of manifest, of protoplast, of mineral, of plant, and of beast. With that, I want to get into our first topic of conversation. Well, no, before we even get into the conversation, what do y'all think about that right there? Because that's powerful. That's a
is.
powerful jewel I done threw out to the people now. Y'all need to send me some gratitudes and some flowers. Because that was a jewel I done sent out.
Definitely.
Yes.
And
send
some stars. Yes,
Send some
yes.
stars.
Some stars.
That
So,
was the recipe.
that was the recipe. So, what do y'all think about that?
That's the recipe. Those are the
Yeah.
things that we need. Minerals. You're gonna get that from where the earth. It's not really hard for us to be able to heal ourselves. It's just really a matter of unconditioning ourselves from where we already are in Western medicine. Western medicine is what's making us be able to provide for this country through taxes and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we healing ourselves. And it's like I use an analogy. One of my favorite movies is American Gangster, and in American Gangster, you know, he's
Pieces.
selling blue magic. And so blue magic was the absolute best
He
that was out
stamped that.
there.
Right.
It was the absolute best that was out there. Why was it the absolute best that was out there? Because he went and got it directly from
That's
the
right.
source.
Mm-hmm.
He cut out the middleman.
That's
what
right.
he wants to do. The doctors, the Western civilization medicine that we're following, those are all practices that have been placed for us to spend money, for us to constantly be sick. And you can definitely do that if you want to, I mean, by all means. But listen to yourself. Look within. Listen to yourself and look within, because if you do that, yourself is going to tell you exactly what you're needing,
Right.
how to heal yourself. It's just like if you look at a dog, for example. A dog goes out, if they're sick and they go out to use the restroom, they go and they eat certain grasses from out of the ground, because those certain grasses are going to heal whatever they have going on within them.
So what you're
A lot
telling
of
me
people
is
don't know
that you heard it more from the healer's point of view. You heard that you are actually the Lord of what you see, and you can go and do as you please to create what you want.
Exactly.
Right.
So what did you hear out of it, Lisa?
Pretty much what I got out of it was that we are pretty much in charge over everything. We are God within self. You know, and it's funny because I'm reading this book right now called Spirituality Before Religion. And it talks about how things, basically how we have manifested ourselves from spirit into physical reality.
That's right.
So we were nothing, which, not nothing, but like darkness, or it just explains how we came about, you know, and
We
and
were
then
thought.
yeah, we were thought manifested into this physical. So everything that we see actually is what we're creating. So like me and you, us three sitting here, we could look straight ahead and see different things because we're creating our reality.
That's right.
You know, so like I may see the camera, you may see this, that, you know, we may not see the same things, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just exists differently in our worlds.
And
you
I
know?
think that we should I think that we're going to actually on another episode come back to this.
Right.
Because and this is the beauty of the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, because you could take one little simple paragraph, forget you, and then you can do this with every chapter.
Right.
But you can go into so deep into so many ways, and this is how we go into everything.
Right.
And this is how I tend to know more than a Christian, because I study Christianity the way that
Right.
I would study more science. I would study Buddhism the
Right.
way that's how we do. That's how we're made. But anywho, because it also said like we were the Lord of plant, minerals. So we're talking about anything that you could conceive when we're thinking about galaxies,
Right.
when we're thinking about aliens, when we're thinking about planets. We are the Lords, the so-called
Over all
black
of that.
man, the so-called. But we're not black. But the so-called black man,
Right.
the Lord of these things, right?
Right.
And so the thing that I want to talk about first is let's recap this Kanye situation, because I see a big uproar, and it's a very, very trending topic right now. Are you familiar? Did we catch you up enough early before the show?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, so for those who may be living under a rock or may not know what's going on, Kanye West wore a shirt that said "White Lives Matter." The internet,
Lies, right?
lives, no,
Lives,
Lives.
Yeah, white
Who
lives
took the V
matter.
off?
Most deaf.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
whatever.
most
Okay,
definitely.
no, white lives matter.
Yeah.
And then he made a statement stating that he wore White Lives Matter because White Lives Matter Black Lives Matter is owned by so-called white people or the Europeans.
Right.
And so he's ending that whole folly of Black Lives Matter movement, right? And so I'm seeing a big uproar. A lot of my people, I see.
White Lives Matter? Did Kanye go get his White Lives Matter organization?
I don't know. I don't know. So listen, there's an uproar. He might have did though.
Right.
He might have did.
Like, y'all won't play with us?
We got something for you.
Right.
So before I give my thoughts on the subject, I would like to first ask our guest,
That's
and
right.
let's hear her thoughts about what do you think, because our people is upset. I saw one of the battlers on my league. Shout out to RBE. Shout out to the News Battle League. Shout out to the battle rap culture period. But he was like, if anybody agree with Kanye West, I want to beat him up right now. So the people, the people are upset, So I want to hear your thoughts about this.
He is. Come on now. Let's get it together.
Okay, so from a surface layer point of view, I could possibly try to understand why somebody would be upset about it, but you actually have to have a conscious mind to understand where Kanye is coming from. Because if we're going out and we're spending all of our money on this Black Lives Matter and we're buying all of their stuff, then
and they're giving it to the people that's killing.
Exactly. If Kanye puts on a shirt and it has a hole in it, y'all gonna buy it for $500. So with that White Lives Matter shirt, he knows it's going to sell. So he's trying to beat them at their own game. If you want to spend this bread on this. Pay for this. You're going to show us our value, or we're going to take our value. Because at the end of the day, it's like this. We as melanated people once reigned all of this. We did. And he's just trying to make a stance to help move that movement to bring that back. And if you are not somebody that's maybe able to understand that, that means that you still have some more work that you want to do on your part to be able to gain that conscious mind and the level of understanding, so that way you can't understand it, because it's really deeper than what you're thinking.
And so what do you think about it, Lisa?
Well, I wanted to hear yours first.
Oh, you want to hear
I
mine?
want you to go first.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not posing to think like Kanye West or anything like that. But to be quite honest, I'm very excited about it for the simple fact that my people are happy holding on to misnomers that the so-called white person put on us.
Right.
So the
European
fact
or
that
white?
I said the so-called.
Oh, so-called.
Yeah, so I'm about to get to their real attribute as
So-called.
I continue. Right. The so-called. When you hear me say so-called, that means that's not what they are.
Right.
It's just so said. And so, but with that being said, right, our people don't understand. It even goes so deep down, right, to the word nigger, right?
Yeah.
And so our people don't understand that everything that they are, they place on us, and then they assume our identity. What do I mean by that? Well, if you go into history, the troglodyte nigger is their ancestors. That's the bloodline. That is a real thing. It's a creature. It's a mixture.
Right.
And so what they call the cave beast or whatever.
Right.
So the troglodyte nigger, right, is a real thing. And it's their bloodline.
Oh, hold on. I got to interrupt just a little bit.
You can't interrupt me right now because you told me you wanted to go
I'm
after me.
sorry. I want to say something on
No,
that.
I'll just play.
Let me give it. No, because I want to give the education on that a little bit so that, they can understand. Like in that book I'm reading, it states that, okay, so to wrap it real fast though, it's like in the midst of creation, it was levels to where we are as human beings right now, melanated human beings. And like you're saying, you got like the minerals from what you said, all of that stuff came about. Now, before we got to the melanated aspect of it, like you said, they're creatures. They're not human beings. They're not melanated individuals. They're lower grade.
That's not true. They're definitely they're a creation of us.
Right, but I'm saying they're lower grade. See, we're at the highest consciousness. Melanated people are the highest conscious of.
But their lack of melanin is not the fact because they came before.
No, I know that. No, I'm not saying that part. I'm saying when you start going into, okay, so I'm saying as I was reading this book, I'm realizing, okay, everything started from in the water, like how we in the womb. And then bacteria came up. and then rust. And then, you know, like clams and shells and all that fish came about. Because even before it was horseshoes, you know how horseshoes are supposed to be the male,
Right.
but they give birth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you got that first. Then as you go into it, it explains how the womb came about at some point. But before we even get into all of that, it goes into the different, I don't want to say humans, but it goes into like how we were on the four, you know, like on.
That's not no. There's somebody is right. Somebody is mixing and matching.
No. It's like in the pyramids, how we started up. How not.
No. We were never.
No.
on
I'm not
four.
saying us. I'm saying the different type of entities that like when you go into aliens.
Okay, the
and all
different
that.
creations.
Yeah, different
Okay.
creations.
Okay.
So when you're saying European or white or whatever the case may be, they're not affiliated with us at all. That's what
Right,
I'm
they're
saying.
not.
And
right.
that's what I was
They're
trying to
mankind,
explain.
and
Yeah,
we're
they're
man.
mankind, and we're human.
Right.
Yeah. So that's all I was saying.
And so that's
because
exactly
people like to
correct.
associate. See, when we get into these type of conversations, everybody always people that don't want to.
They could do everything. What they could do? What can they do that we can't do? And what can we do that they can't do?
Oh,
They
it's
imitate.
It's a whole lot that
They
they
don't-
can't.
yeah.
They can't do.
It's
that
a whole
we-
lot they can't do.
They make baby like
They-
baby.
That'll,
No,
okay,
it's a
animals
lot-
make
it's a
babies,
lot-
and we're
it's-
not animals. So
Right,
that's
it's a lot that-
animals bleed, and we're not animals. So that's not what determines a man from not being an animal. What determines a man from not being an animal is the spirit. And if they don't,
So that doesn't matter what the spirit lies in the European
Right, so,
person.
listen,
and the non-European person.
you can't
Spirit of every
have
single human
something.
being moves.
But they not.
You can't
It's
have-
not human. Like that's the thing. Like when we got a misconception of who we are and what they are, it's different.
And
In
this
creation.
is why they and this is
So
why
I
they
haven't
and this is
gotten-
why they're so fascinated with the hybrid science.
Right.
Because they understand their bloodline. This is not nothing that they don't know what we're talking about. This is a very known fact that they know that they are a hybrid being. And this is the part where a lot of people don't, it's so deep, right?
It is
Because
very
we've been
deep.
so miseducated that we don't even understand what was Hitler's biggest fault. Hitler's problem was that they are germinated people. We are germinated man, and the God's man are God's man. God man supposed to be away. Germinated man supposed to be over here. We can thrive on our own without interfering with God's man, and God's man don't supposed to interfere with us. But that was
you
all
about
the
to-
way
you
away
hit-
from
you
right.
hitting
The
hard.
That's
that's
just like
all
us
the way
saying that.
from
That's
the
just like us saying that though, right? 'Cause-
what?
Cause anybody could tell you anything. Like so many people saying stuff, but they don't. They just saying it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, this is-
I have to do my research on.
I
that.
was just
Forgive
about to
my
say that when we
ignorance
talk
on
about
that.
science, right, or when we talk about in the spirit of knowing, and when goddess is supposed to talk, right, anybody could tell you anything, right? So you're supposed to be able to listen to everybody, believe nobody, do your own research
Right.
for everything. But a real goddess understands that the first research comes with self.
Right.
And so we don't understand that we literally, as melanated beings, could go into the Akashic records and we could find the truth in ourselves.
Right. That's
And
it,
we
yeah.
don't need if somebody on the outside don't understand it, don't comprehend it, we don't need anybody to understand it. That's how all prophets were able to complete their mission. Because once they tapped the Akashic records, guess how many people or beings around them that felt like they couldn't even reach those records. Jesus said, what I've done, all men must do. So how many people don't even realize that they too can tap into those same divine records and find out the truth for themselves. You don't have to go to I've never looked into a book first for anything. And this has
Right.
been all my life. I've always had tapped into the vision, the
Of self.
records, and it came to me. And then later down the years, there was always physical things to prove.
Right.
that it was right, the message that was sent to me. But I've never found the truth outside of myself first. I've always found the truth in everything inside of myself first. So when I talk to people, it'd be hard for me to relate to a lot of people because a lot of people look outwardly for confirmation or for the truth, and they want to come and talk to me about what they read outwardly. But even if I don't care who wrote anything, if you can't go and tap into that truth, you still are simply in a belief state right now.
But I mean, I gotta go on that just a little bit. Not saying I agree with tapping into yourself, right? But that's what makes us
sister.
divine.
Shout out to the sister up here.
That's what makes us divine individuals, though, as well, because being able to tap into yourself, even if you're like I relate to what you're saying about self, because that's how I feel. I actually got into that book because I went to the universe first and was like, look, I need help. You know what I'm saying? I need guidance. I like I was saying earlier, I had gotten into I'm a backstory just a little bit. I got into the entrepreneur world, been in it, been hustling and stuff like that. Everything was okay. But it gets real deep when you start making real money, when you start making real connections. You get backstabbed, you get hurt, but a lot of love comes as well. But it gets overwhelming, like me and her was talking about. So in the midst of all of that, I'm going to use her word, Ev's word. Overwhelming. Overwhelming is what I felt, and then the social media didn't help at all, you know, because like you said, you get so many opinions, you're looking for answers, and self was tapping on my door. It was like, you know what, girl, you need to take the time to deal with self. So that came shadow work, that came deep meditation, that came higher thinking, it came with like accountability, just a whole bunch of stuff that I thought I was good on. You know what I'm saying? So as a result, I started to want to do stuff different, like journaling. You know what I'm saying? Reading books, just to heighten myself, meditating, dealing with my chakras, all of that different kind of stuff. And then that's when that book came along, alongside with other people with like how we met, like-minded individuals, because education and knowledge and higher consciousness comes in messages,
and everything is a energy,
right?
Everything,
right.
and so and that's the difference,
right?
Frequency. And that's hold on. I'm about to give you the magic formula too,
right?
And that's the difference, because when they're literally made on the 6,
right? How
can a 6 ever reach the 9? We are on the 9.
Who's made on the 6? Who's made on
the European are on the 6. We are.
Who did that?
It's basic.
The Most High created everything. We don't know when He created, because wasn't nobody here when He created.
No, that's what you got confused,
so
and that's the part that a lot of people have confused, because the European was not created by the Most High. They were created from us, and that's a real life fact. And this is something that they emit every day, and this is why they are so determined for this hybrid situation, because now their whole goal is to create a stronger hybrid to be us, because they are mad of the fact of their bloodline. I mean, this is not anything.
I can clarify that point a little more, just because where it comes into us being melanated and the power of the melanin in our skin, it's like this. Yes, Europeans came from us. If you didn't know, now you know. It's nothing new.
You know they got melanin in them
but
too, right?
Yes, because
they come
I'm about to
from
explain
it.
it right
Being
now.
on this earth has melanin. It doesn't matter if you white, black.
Yeah, but I'm about to explain it right now, because we were the origin.
Okay.
So
and their melanin is only subsided to their ears, their nose, their eyes, their tonsils.
But do you know why they lost their?
And the reason that you have more than them, because we come from the lower part of the equator. They're from the
No, that's not true. That's not facts.
But how did they get there?
That's not facts at all.
But how did they get? No, he's right. But how did
no,
they get there?
that's not facts at all. As to why their melanin, they don't have melanin. They don't have melanin because they are hybrids from the albino and the monkey. The albino don't have the melanin to give to them. So that's why they don't have. It's not from they did what they were. They was not even created when in the blood. They were on. Listen, Europeans are only 6,000 years old. The stuff that y'all are talking about predates
against Europeans and people, because the war is on us.
No, this is God is talking. We were talking about spirit, and so when we're talking about the spirit of a thing, they can't reach it. That came up in the conversation, and that's what we're going to keep the conversation at.
Europeans have
We're
no
not.
spirit.
They don't. And that's a true fact. That's why they must amalgamate with us.
Every single one has no spirit.
Everyone.
that's what
Yes,
you truly saying.
that's the fact. This not what I'm saying. This is what is the known fact. This is why
Spirit.
they must amalgamate with the melanated being. This is why it is imperative that they understand the breakdown of our melanin. This is why it is imperative that they try to get just a drop of our DNA to be infused with theirs.
I know that it's being said that they're going to pretty much what's the word I'm looking for? Become extinct in the next couple years.
Listen,
Well,
I'm just speaking on numbers. You know what I'm saying?
That's what people say.
Yeah,
no, that's
people
what
are
they
saying
say. No,
that, yeah.
this is
the
their
only
top
point
secret.
that I was
This
trying
is
to-
their. This is. Do y'all read their release CIA fact? Like, ain't
I
nobody
mean, I
making
worked
this
at
up.
NASA, so I've seen.
All you got to do is. This is what they're
How
saying.
long the people been lying to you though?
The people ain't lied to me.
Oh my
That's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to say. But if you go and find the truth for yourself, you will go and see that none of this stuff is made up. Like, these people are really congregating. They are really trying to figure out how to live.
Yeah, they are.
They are really trying to figure out, if we can't make it here, can we live longer on another planet?
Yeah, that's
like
true.
it's this is not. But
Well,
this
because
is
That's
I
what
say
the
that because the
metaverse is
rise of the
for.
Kundalini, the hotter it gets, a lot of people are gonna fall anyways because of the consciousness.
exactly.
The sun, right? The sun is okay. I can't really explain it all the way because I don't have all the words for it or the terminology, but basically, we're getting ready to really hit hot climates, and your consciousness is what's gonna have you keeping on. So what Mo is saying, or Goddess, Mo is saying, basically is like, it is gonna. A lot of people are gonna fall melanated.
and I'm about to say, if they think like the European and they look like us, they gonna fall too.
yeah,
Right
it's a
along
lot
with
of people gonna
We
fall.
ain't gotta wait for that. We've been watching that happen all our life.
Right, but it's gonna
Why we
heighten
gotta
because
wait-
it.
why we gotta wait for people to fall? People been falling
No,
all
we're
our
not
life.
waiting for them
Well,
to
nobody's
fall.
waiting. We're
not
talking
waiting
about
for them to
something
fall.
that's
What I'm saying,
happening.
It's happening right now.
in the
Happened
Lord,
since we was born.
right,
Right.
Sometimes we didn't have conscious of it, so we didn't know what was going on. So now we
but
got
I'm
conscious, we
saying,
know what's going
what
on.
I'm saying
Same
is,
thing was going on when you was born. Same thing going on now.
what I'm saying is, what I feel
Well,
like she's
something
saying
did
is,
change, and what
No,
changed
listen.
the Europeans are scared.
Not
They're
us.
getting
exactly.
nervous. They
Not
are
us.
in preparation. They are doing a lot of
but
different
this is the
things.
thing, though. What we
to
went
lower the
away from the
frequency,
conversation
you
that
know?
I was going to, because what I won't do is focus on somebody else's insufficiency of knowledge. I'm not here to teach you about what is already out here. If it's a part of the conversation, then it'll be a part of the conversation. But if it's not, like, we got to take it upon ourselves to go and research it, because if you don't find this truth for yourself, you're going to sit on a chair and sit and argue me back and forth. And I'm not here to argue. It's only if I tell you what I just said, we're supposed to be able to listen to everybody, believe nobody, and do our own research on everything. So if I say something that don't sit well, you just either simply could go and research it and find it to be true or not, or you could just simply disagree with it. And then and then that's how we'll
Yeah,
keep
because
that.
even if you get something from an outside source, just kind of piggybacking back around to the topic you brought up earlier, like, when you have awareness of yourself, your ancestors going to show you exactly what you're supposed to be looking at when you looking, because you have your own set of lenses. Everybody does. Everybody
Right,
sees
that's
things
what I'm-
differently, and it's all based off of the experiences and the path that you're designed to take
Right.
to be able to fulfill your purpose. But everybody's so hell-bent on clout chasing and being like this person, being like that person, that y'all missing y'all own gifts.
Mhm.
Right, that's the part.
That's
Y'all
right.
missing y'all own gifts out here sleepwalking.
That's right.
Talking
And so
about y'all woke.
And so what I was speaking about this White Lives Matter, because I definitely still want to speak about this, is that when the Europeans take our titles and they give us their titles, so they took the troglodyte nigger, y'all gonna be the niggers now, and we gonna be the rulers of the land. Because what we gotta understand is that white means purity. Purity means God, and God means the ruler of the land. This is law. Go and get up any Black's Law dictionary if you want a reference to go and look up. Go and look up any Black's Law dictionary. Go and look up what black is. Also, I want you to go and get a dictionary that has been printed before the year of 1929. If you get a dictionary that has been printed before the year 1929, they give you all original definitions before everything started being revised. There's a reason why words started being revised after 1929, because more of us started to read.
Right.
So now all definitions have to be revised. But if you go into the original dictionaries, black means pale. Black means devoid of hue. So how can we be the black people when we got a whole, we not pale? So once again, the misnomer has been placed on us that we are the black people and they are the rulers of the land, which makes them what? The white people. There's no such thing as a black or white person. Black and white is actually statuses.
Right.
Mm-hmm. When they created black and white.
It's statuses. It's statuses.
Mm-hmm. Just like
Period.
upper class, middle class.
Right.
Yep.
Period. If you go and if you, even if, let's say you're one of those people that don't like to listen to your sister and you have to, follow a European, what they say, just go YouTube, right? Europeans beating court cases or white men beating court cases because they go into that court and tell that man, I'm not no white man, I have nationality. I'm an Irish American.
Well, yeah.
I'm a German. You understand what I'm
If
saying?
you
That's the
look at,
same
even
thing.
if you look on, if you look on the application of anything of some sort right now, you have every nationality except for a European describing who they are.
Exactly.
You see Hispanic, non-Hispanic. You see black. You see, everything.
No, they're here. They assumed white, the ruler of the land. That's
right.
The very
they
first
don't,
thing
they don't
that
get
you
questioned
see.
about who they are or.
So the white and the black people are the people who don't know who they are.
That's my point exactly.
They don't have knowledge of self. They don't have knowledge of what's going on. They don't have knowledge of anything.
That's my point
again,
exactly.
don't got
So
knowledge of self.
if you are devoid of melanin, if you are a member of the pale skinned nations of Europe, guess what? That makes you a European.
Right.
And that's not a misnomer. Now, I'm not going to be ignorant like a lot of Europeans do and try to classify me, because I don't know, you could be one of the 6 nations of Europe. So I do know for a fact, though, you are of one of the 6 nations of Europe, therefore making you a European. Mm-hmm. Now, I might not know if you're Russian.
Right.
I don't know if you're Dutch. I don't know. But I know for a fact that you are one of the 6 nations of Europeans. So I respectfully classify you as a European until you specify to me which one. Now, a lot of the Europeans look at me and call me black, assuming, and I'm not black. You understand what I'm saying? So this whole white lives matter thing, to me, I'm happy. Because our people need to stop holding on to misnomers that don't belong to them. Let go that black, I mean, is if you go and you look into law and you call yourself black in law, right? Any person who walks into a courtroom as a black person, right, is automatically labeled as civil litis mortuus.
Right. Now
that means civically dead.
Mm-hmm.
3/5 a person.
Yes.
Can't speak for yourself.
Right.
Don't know law enough to represent yourself.
Yep.
You're not conscious enough to speak for yourself.
Right.
And then what we all go in there and do? Well, not me, but what do they go in there and do though? They got somebody speaking, but they say, raise your right hand. What we doing? Raising your right. We don't even know that if you swear in court, that's automatically telling the judge that you're lying.
Right.
You don't supposed to swear in court.
Yep.
But people know so much. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you want to be black. But you don't even know how to live in this world. If you want to hold on to the black so hard, you don't even know how to function in this world as a black person, since you want to hold on to it so hard.
Mo, you hitting people with a hard pill to swallow.
I told you, they might not like me after this one.
I'm just saying,
because our people love to be ignorant.
And I understand, but if
if that's what they promoted on the people for so long, then
right, and I don't disagree at all, right? But I do feel like the education definitely needs to be out there, and it's no however, but it is like. I feel like it's a journey. This is going to be a hard journey for us melanated people, for our community. And I want to say this because I I'm not gonna lie. I work for the government. I work for NASA. So I was upon every origin of the European community, and it was a man there, and I won't disclose him, but he was, you know, a melanated man, and he dropped so many gems on me at one point to where I was doing this, so I went crazy with myself. But what he was doing was enlightening me. And when I was getting enlightened, this was back in 2011, 2010, you know, well before the conscious and woke and all of that kind of
Became
stuff.
a boom.
So I'm telling my people, I don't want to do church no more, and I don't want to do this. And to everybody, I had lost my mind. I stopped fitting in. It was just a lot, right? So for a while, I had to pretend until I could get my vocabulary up, until I can get my courage up, until, you know, all of these things start to surface. And then the light started to come in, shine within self out. And stuff started gravitating to me in a positive way. But it was overwhelming as well, because now I'm dealing with lost individuals that want the answers from me, and it's hard to explain, right? So that became overbearing. I went into the you know how you try to go back and you try to live like you didn't know, but once you wake up, you can't go backwards.
Yeah, exactly.
So then we moved into this land of, or into this world of, now everybody's conscious, they meditating, sage, and all that kind of stuff, and it's just like, you don't even know what type of hell your mind is about to go into, because you playing or you're trying to trend, right? And you don't know that because you're opening up this kundalini, this third eye, things are going to start happening and looking different. And the pineal gland,
right
yeah.
here.
Well, I'm just saying, when you start opening up, you know, all the way, all the chakras, your consciousness, when you start aligning up, and you could be doing it by accident, by trend, right? Now your world is upside down and you're going through hell, but you're really transforming. You feel what I'm saying?
When everybody was playing with that Moldavite, like one girl posted, like, she was like, oh, I got this Moldavite and it brought my love back to me, or something like that. So everybody started getting the Moldavite, right? But Moldavite is a very, very spiritual stone.
Right.
And like people was like it would start bringing like traumatic backgrounds to people and stuff.
Because if you don't,
what they're doing, do you really honestly people think that if you could just go out there and manifest money with no type of consequences at all,
right?
The government will allow it to be on social media for y'all to get it like that?
I want to say,
I thought you was about to go somewhere else.
No,
with
let me finish.
Though. Me and you was reading.
Right, we was gonna say, go ahead.
No, because it's all for a purpose. They're allowing you guys to go in and manifest and learn about these processes, because they know that you're conditioned to not go and do anything past the 7 seconds that you saw on your For You page.
Well, that's true too. I see what you're saying.
They know that you guys are gonna go out here and
like, let them have it.
Yeah,
give them $1 million. They're gonna give it right back to us.
You ever heard the saying? Give somebody enough rope to hang themselves.
Right,
That's
exactly.
pretty much what they're doing. Because they know the power behind it.
Right.
They know what you could really do with it.
Exactly.
But they also
if we knew
know
something, but they got us in a chokehold.
Well,
they also know you sleep.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Like, when you start playing and you don't know what you're doing, you're going to tap into higher consciousness by accident on purpose.
That's true.
And then what's going to happen is, when you're not doing all of the back work, you're not doing the root work, you're not doing none of the chakra work, you're not doing any shadow work, you're not healing yourself, you're not holding accountability, all the steps that take you into higher consciousness, being able to deal in this life, in this social society, you're going to drown. And I feel like that's almost tied into like selling your soul. You don't know what you're doing for things that you're doing it for, even if it's for nothing to get some likes and shares.
Right.
And like she's saying, when you start getting money, when you start getting these accolades from doing the candle magic and all of this kind of stuff, you really don't know what you may be trading in as a result of what you're doing.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because intentions are everything.
Everything.
You have to make sure that your heart is pure and your intentions are dead on when you're doing this type of stuff.
And long as you got that's beautiful, and I'm so glad you said that, because that's the part that is where sin is committed.
Right.
And the intent.
Yes.
You know, the sin is not in the act, but the intent.
Right.
If I kill you out of self-defense, that is
you're
not
good.
murder.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not.
And the universe would
It's
not would not
Yes.
make me repay for
There's
that.
no karma.
But if I go out with no humanity in me, and I go out and just kill somebody in cold blood, whether somebody feel like I paid for it on this physical plane or not, the universe is going to make sure I
Yeah,
pay for that.
absolutely.
And so intent is the thought is the cause of it all.
Exactly. That's why you can't just jump into these things thinking like I'm gonna get these accolades or I'm in higher consciousness. I'm gonna tell y'all now, higher consciousness and trying to living in this world is a very hard thing to do.
It is.
Because you have a light and like you said earlier about sharing your gifts. If you're hoarding your gifts and your talents, even if it's something as simple as your psychic abilities, hold on, don't step out into the street or don't do this. And I was just watching this video, and there was a young lady, she was explaining how she had an ability and she was holding it in. She had foresight and she held it in and she started getting migraines. Different things will happen inside your body because you're not sharing your creativity with others. You're not sharing your abilities with others. If you hold it in with itself, it's gonna attack self.
That situation, it turned out fatal for me twice, with holding in my gifts.
Right.
And that's kind of gonna lead us to our next talk about the sisterhood. But before we get into the actual sisterhood conversation, right? I like to expand on that a little bit.
Right. Go ahead.
Because with one of my guys that I was dating, he was killed, right? And how he was killed, a drunk driver, she hit the guardrail, got out the car on the interstate. A truck swerves from hitting her and hit him, and his car automatically explodes, right? Now, before the accident, though, right? I would say at least that year before that accident, little things had happened, like his house had caught on fire, right? And so, I was helping him healing, and I remember that was the last thing that happened. It was like little things before that had happened, but the last thing I remember was the house fire. Right. And I remember wrapping his hands up one day, and I'm like, I don't know what in the world you done did, but fire trying to catch you.
Right.
But I was a baby into my consciousness. I had just proclaimed my nationality and stuff around this time. So, and this was around the time when I'm starting to tap back into, because I had the gift from a baby.
Right.
But my mama and them didn't know what was going on, whatever. Long story. So, at this time, I'm just starting to tap back into it. So, I didn't even think twice about it to say, hold on, stop on that thought.
Right.
And so then the second time I caught it, but we didn't take it serious enough because it was my son's father.
Right.
And so with my son's father, I had the dream. And in the dream, literally how it happened, it played out. I had a dream that I got a call that he had been shot in the head. And I went to where he lived. I went to his mom's house, not where he lived. I went to his mom's house. And everybody was around there, and literally how everything happened, from the discord with me being pregnant, with all that, everything played out just in my dream. But the next day when I woke up, I immediately called him. I'm like, yo, I just wanted to hear your voice. Like, I just had this dream, like, you got shot. Like, that jank was real. It scared me. Right. Like, no, I'm good. I'm like, oh, all right, we going bout. Like 3 months later, I got that call. He was shot, and that's what happened. So when you suppress yourself, that's you got to be your true self. You got to have your pure intentions, and you got to have a real. You can't play around with what you don't know, and you can't play around with what you know you have a gift with.
Right. Absolutely.
So I got a topic for y'all. In the world today, right? You got a lot of different type of women's circle groups, right? What do y'all feel about? I miss that old, authentic sisterhood. I miss I can envision myself in another lifetime, with my sisters. We on the rocks at the ocean, and we
like we see on TV.
girl, no, deeper than that.
Right.
It was way deep. What I see in my mind is way beautiful than that. It's like it's way deeper than that because it's more of us, and it's just the sisterhood of building our community, of being able to trust each other with our fears and our insecurities and our hurts and our pains, and actually getting together and uplifting each other and holding each other up and holding each other accountable. Like,
Right.
what do y'all feel about that? Do
I'm
y'all
a
feel like it's
90s
still here?
baby. We grew up with that on TV as a 90s baby. Yeah. They had that sisterhood and that fellowship and
They
supporting
did back.
each
They
other.
did. You know, I can't take that
They
from you.
didn't
They
have
did.
the ratchet TV we got today.
Well, yeah.
But do you feel like it exists in your world in real life?
I know for certain it does not exist in my world in real
You
life.
always make me think you about to go somewhere. And she gonna always the other. I thought she must say I
You
know.
had the biggest smile ready. You was like the Grinch. Like you was like, yes.
I know for a fact it don't.
Yeah, that kind
No,
of.
it doesn't. But what I can say is that since I have been on my spiritual journey, I have encountered women that have changed the narrative for me.
Right.
Because I've always been either with the boys or to myself. Like I'm playing basketball or I'm playing the game with them and things like that. So it's either that or I'm by myself. I've never been able to fully connect with another woman, and so they go to say that happens to be because of a number of different things that you have blocking you that prevents you from being able to build and connect with other women. And so that's something that I wanted to embark on and see what is it and what is it that we're not able to bridge the gap. Because when I tell you the women that I've met this year, including you, it's like, wow, where y'all been? Listen, I'm ready to go on girls trips.
Right,
I'm
right.
ready to, go out to eat together. Come on, let's build, business relationships. Let's network. Let's do all of it because it's so needed. Like, you need a babysitter? I got you. I need a babysitter? You got me? Okay, cool. Like, where is the village?
Where is the village? That's what it is.
Where's the village?
Where's the village?
I think the village exists. I think that we gotta let our guard down a little bit to allow each other to play different roles. You know what I'm saying? I feel
That's
like
true.
I have a sisterhood, but how can I say? It feels like a sisterhood to me, but it's a sisterhood within different. It's like my own sisterhood, right? Like I have you, I have my natural born sisters, I have elder women that I look up to, and they look at me as sis because they not ready for the mommy. You know what I'm saying? The auntie role or whatever. But as far as it's all intertwining together, I don't have that all the way. However, I know that we are all levitated to a point where if it were something involving getting money or women empowerment support or something like that, we are getting to that level of being able to support each other, if nothing else for that.
You said something. What did you say when you first started your census off? Because it stuck out to me.
You said when I first started?
Yeah, when you first started your point, you was like, I have a sister. Like,
I said I do. I said I feel like I have a sisterhood, but it's a sisterhood it's like my own, like one that I'm creating. That maybe
no, you said let your guard down.
Yeah, I said let your guard down. Like I
down.
feel like, because let me tell you something, like me formulating my sisterhood, like I got educated sisters, I got elder sisters, I got young sisters, I got classy, bougie, hood, ghetto, ratchet, you know what I'm saying, entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And maybe I feel like this with them, and they may not feel that way with me, but I say that only because when I look at them, I get excited about what they're doing.
That's right.
And when my sisters, they down, you know what I'm saying, I feel like I want things to get better for them.
That's right.
You feel what I'm
you
saying?
want for yourself,
yeah,
you
what I
want
want
for your
for
sisters.
yeah. So it's like I may not deal with them in a group setting, you know what I'm saying? But I will say that they are my sisters in a sense of I love them. You know what I'm saying? I want what's best for them. I want all their dreams to come true. You know what I'm saying? I want everything that they want for themselves that's of higher and positivity to happen for them. And I think that if we all moved in that way, but it causes, sometimes I have to, suppress the thoughts because I'm a human being. I have feelings, I have thoughts. So sometimes I have to look within myself and be like, you know what, self-check. I could be forgetting like, that she got kids too. She got a man. She got, a life,
right.
Outside of me.
That's
So
right.
I can't get mad. Why does, you know what I'm saying? And I have to be different with my words. I used to say bitch all the time. Bitch, bitch, bitch. Like, no, like, I don't want to do that with my sisters no more. I want to, you educated me on queen, so I do goddess now. But before that, it was, queen. It was empress. It was, I'm using better words towards my fellow sisters because that's what I want to see. And that's how I don't want the conversations outside of my presence to be that bitch, da 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 da.
Right,
Or,
exactly.
I want people to be like, you know what?
Exactly.
I felt funny. Something, she off today. Maybe she got something going on. I want the understanding to come before and be like, I'm gonna fuck her up.
That's
what I'm
right.
And excuse my language
go
to
ahead,
those that,
talk.
no, I'm saying to those that's tuning in, all due respect. But this is me too. But it's like, these are the outside conversations I want to have. Even if you don't agree with me, even if you don't like me at the moment, let that be that moment.
Yep.
You feel what I'm saying? Let us be able to get back to each other and be like, I can say like, look, such and such happened. And it's not with embarrassment. It's not with shame. It's like, oh, girl, let me give you
Talk
a
that
hug,
goddess talk.
all of that. And that's what I feel like sisterhood is. And I feel like we can all have that if we get out of ego, if we get out of lower self,
Yep.
if we get out of conceitedness, all
Come
of the
on,
stuff that
talk
we
that talk.
possess
Trauma.
that makes,
That trauma.
That trauma.
Come on
right?
now, that
Because
trauma
it-
is serious.
I'ma say this real quick.
Like I'm trying to wait.
Yeah.
Right. I want to say this last thing. I feel like, but the sisterhood is only as strong as the motherhood. See, we gotta start dealing
You
with, and I'm
talking.
gonna let you go after this,
You
but
talking.
if we heal the mother trauma, we can get to the sisterhood better because a lot of us are holding on to what happened with
Come
our
on.
mothers,
Yep.
what they didn't give to us, and we seeing that sister in that mother side. So when we're triggered by what our mother used to do or didn't do, and we see that in our sister, we automatically pushing her to the side, talking about her, want to fight her, grouping up against her, even self too. We might, like you said, we might go into hiding for a second because we don't feel like anybody is there to relate. But in all actuality, we are women.
That's right.
We all going through the same things. It looks different. But I can truly say, like, I only know you for 5 minutes when we walked through the door. And I could relate to a lot of what you said. But I was vulnerable enough to be able to say, you know what, me too.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to let you have the floor, though.
But you was just like preaching nothing but all truth. Listen, because
Thank
it's
you.
the trauma. It's
Yeah.
the trauma that's keeping us separated. It is the trauma. And I am a testimony in and of itself because I do have the trauma, or I don't want to say I do have it, but I did have the trauma
Right.
of, not having a great relationship with my sister when I was growing up, not being able to have a great relationship with my mom like I was wanting to.
Right.
And so those things that you subconsciously just press down
Right.
and it submerges down in you and you just forget all about it, one day it's going to pop back up
Right.
and you're going to have to face that demon. That thought, that condition is going to keep resurfacing.
It is.
You're going to stay in that karmic lesson and you're not going to reach your potential until you actually go in and reparent yourself.
Right.
Maybe, they didn't do everything right.
Right.
But maybe take a step back and see, well, how were they raised?
Right.
What was
Exactly.
their environment like?
Exactly.
Who was pouring into them?
Right.
One of my favorite sayings that I use is, be the change that you want to see in the world.
Ooh, I said
She
that.
said that was her quote of the day
That
for the
was my
first
quote.
episode.
I live by that.
Listen,
I
that's
live by
it.
that for real.
On every
I live by that.
email,
Ooh, that
listen,
illuminated me,
every
like-
signature,
That was beautiful.
that's
It was.
Because it is. So break the curse.
It is.
Take this necessary
Steps.
steps. Break the curse because
Yes.
guess what?
Yes.
Those thoughts, those feelings, those movements that you have today, you're going to pass those right down to those babies that
Right.
you're raising.
Right. And I want to.
And that is in the womb. The womb.
That's
remember
right.
she comes to my holy day meeting periods now. Yep, at the temple. Well,
Right.
she visit. And so remember we were speaking about the seed. I mean, a child is as perfect as the mother.
Right.
And so that's where that falls in the line of
Right,
like
it does.
and from our womb,
Right.
we get everything from our mother, right?
That's right.
But also, you know, from the loins of our father, we
Right.
also get our inconstancy as well.
Right.
And so with that being said, you know, that shout out to the fathers out
Shout
there.
out to the fathers.
Yes, all daddies matter. All daddies
All
matter.
daddies matter.
Okay?
Have
All
some
fathers
understanding. Yeah.
And so with me, when it comes to the village or when it comes to the sisterhood, right, there's a thing that what I'm feeling is being lost is a master word, and that master word to me is sincerity.
Right.
And in sincerity, I feel like it comes honesty comes in there. I feel like loyalty falls into
Right.
sincerity. Sincerity covers a lot of bases for me because when you do things with a sincere heart, you ain't got to worry about being disloyal to something.
Right.
facts.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, I feel like with the sincerity part, you know, I'm going to give just from my perspective because I think that's beautiful that you do have, you know, a lot of, and I have sisters in my community, my temple, elder sisters in my temple, younger sisters my age in my temple. Don't get me wrong. I have a new, I made, y'all, on my birthday, I made a new group of women. And so what I mean by this is that all through my life, I'm pretty much a loner. But it's always one or two sisters that's always been.
Yep.
My mama was a Rolling Stone, so I'm in school to school to school. I done went to all the middle schools,
Yep.
all the elementary,
Right.
all the high
Right.
school.
Right.
But it's always one or two girls that we just vibe together, right?
Right.
Then when I moved to another school, I got to find, not find, it just attracts.
Yeah.
I find another friend. But
Right.
so me and these women, we have always remained close, but we don't interact like our personal lives don't interact like
Right,
that
right.
much. Only a couple of them, our personal lives really interact. And so for my birthday, they all came out and everybody from each walk of my life got along. It was a beautiful, like these women were around each other like they were best friends. Like
Right.
they knew each other all their life. And we've been in tune with that, and I asked the universe for that.
Right.
And I feel like when I asked the universe sent me her and her sister, and the universe sent me these
Gratitude.
group of women.
Right.
And then it's divine because I'm riding down Mercury Boulevard
Yes.
and I see my beauty. And so when it comes to sisterhood, I feel like if we could not be afraid of loss, if we could detach, right, as women,
Detached.
detachment, then we can get back to our true sisterhood because
Right.
it's always a well, is do this person, will this person might, my man might find this person to maybe be a little bit better than me. It's so then
Right.
I ain't gonna be too close with her. I ain't gonna bring her
Right,
around,
right.
you know, the family and stuff like that. Or
Yeah.
is it, you know, even
What that go back to?
That's
it's a
like-
slave mentality.
But what it go back to? Your what? Your feelings, your emotions.
Those are their insecurities.
Or your vibrations, the energy.
It's your feelings, right?
Yeah,
You
the
feeling like
insecurity.
your
Yep.
man is your feelings, right?
hmm
Yeah, you can't let
And
feelings
so-
get away.
Right. Feelings and emotions are so temporary. We got to get into that.
But it's
like,
attachment
But like
though.
you said, man, if you focus, that's not going. You ain't
Right.
going. You ain't gonna. You don't take no losses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I even
you
want to
know,
take it
that's-
further because some people might think, because a lot of times when we talk, right, and I'm not talking about just us in general, let's say a pastor may be on the podium talking
Right.
or a teacher might be a person might take and listen to only exactly what that speaker is saying. And if it don't like necessarily case by case sit with them, then they'd be like, oh, they ain't talking about me.
No.
So I'm okay. So you might not be the person that be jealous over a man, right?
Right.
But you might be the person, right? Oh, she ain't getting in my car. I ain't giving her no ride, or they ain't coming to my house. This my
better not
stuff
ask
and
me
mess
for
up
no
my
money,
stuff,
or-
right? Or that's attachment.
Right.
And so that attachment is going to keep you from sisterhood because little do we know, right? Let's say you got that sister that let's say, oh, she always needs something. She always begging, right? This what an unconscious sisterhood will look at. A sisterhood is just automatically gonna come in and help.
Right.
But an unconscious sisterhood, you got somebody that might say, oh, she always begging, all this other stuff, not even realizing that they don't even remember or they haven't even connected the dots that The last time this sister came crying, right? You might didn't like it, but you went ahead and gave her the $40 she was asking for, right? You turned around the next week, and the job done gave you a $2 promotion. You thinking everything but your act of kindness that you did last week to your sister.
You just took it right out of me. I was going to say, universe, listen, universe said, give it to him because I'm going to give it right back to you.
Right, absolutely.
So when we get into the sisterhood, like real sisterhood don't care about none of that.
No.
It don't even you know, and I might sound crazy, but there has been a time where, and my sister Carmia, rest in peace to my goddess sister, you know, I think about it all the time. But there has been a time where I was willing to share my man, and I was gonna share it with my sister.
Hey,
I said, sis, this man's so good. He good. You
going-
my sis. You got to be a part of this.
Hey, listen.
He was so good. He was
I
the
don't
bomb.
know. I don't know.
Let
But
the goddess talk.
I'm just saying.
I didn't think that I would have that in me.
No,
I never
think-
thought it was possible.
I think I have to agree. I have been in that space before. I was much younger. However, you know, and it's really wild. I'm gonna keep a lot of names disclosed, but I was even gonna go as far as like I had a friend and she wanted to conceive, and she was on the other side of the fence. You know, girls was her thing, whatever. So she was like, you got beautiful children, da 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 da, and she, asked about one of my kids' father, and I was like, we wasn't like that. I was like, do your thing. Like, I don't even, you know what I'm saying? But he was nervous about it, which I'm happy, all I'm saying is I've been in that space before. But I think every woman has done something wild or... I
don't think it's wild.
Well,
I think it's
saying,
needed.
What's
I think
considered
it's
wild to social society. It's like every woman has done something out of what other people feel like is their character. Or what they're expecting, because it's like, I want to say this, like a thing with the sisterhood is everybody, the world, social society, today's social society has us forgetting who we were in middle school, because this is a journey, right? So we're growing, you know what I'm saying? We're transitioning every day. So the way you thought then and who you are now, and even if those thoughts are still here, that's okay, because for one, we all grown, we paying our bills, all that kind of stuff. So why should we care anyways? However, at the end of the day, let's stop fronting. Let's stop putting, trying to have this stigma for ourselves that social society, like we're so perfect, or we got it so put together, or we just don't think like that, or we look just like this. Right. Like, no, a lot of us have had that's why, let's be honest, a lot of women around here sharing baby. They
I was just about to say the women do it every day.
Yeah.
They just for some reason they're
about it.
They don't want to build up right. So, you know you in competition. Oh girl, he about to go be with her. You know he about to go be home, but you don't want to just go ahead and meet with this woman. Y'all don't want to put y'all pride to the side. It's the attachment. Exactly. So that's why I feel like when the detachment is gone, the detachment will bring out a lot, because the thing is that once we get this whole stigma of I'm gonna lose something, or I'm not a loss is gonna be taken from me, we're not gonna be feeling bad about sharing, at all. And I'm not saying this monogamy. Polygamy or polyandry is not for everybody. Right. Monogamy is for people and people that want multiple. Neither is wrong.
Right.
It's some people that
that's
can
your
function
thing.
Right. Neither is wrong. Let people live, have their soul dictate.
Right.
And at the end, everybody will be right.
That's right.
And you know what? And that brings up two very good points of accountability and the lack thereof in the community, because if you have accountability and transparency, then you can have a viable situation with one person or with multiple people.
Exactly.
If you are upfront and you're disclosing what's going on.
Exactly.
That's why they have successful polygamous families, and they have successful, monogamous relationships, and
people act like they not out here, but that's because they don't have to be out here fronting for social media.
Exactly.
But they exist, and I know, because I know some.
Right. And my thing is, is like, if you are somebody that wants to be with multiple people, there's a community for that.
Exactly. Go find a community that wants to be with multiple.
Be who you are,
and that's it.
Do your inner child work, okay?
Right.
Parent yourself. Tell yourself, hey, it's okay for me to
want to be with multiple people.
Right.
And there is a tribe for me. And there is a a trap. Whether you are a man or a woman.
Right.
And then this whole stigma of hoe and all this other stuff and all that could be laid to the side.
Right.
Because the monogamous people are over there.
Right.
And the people that want to be with multiple people, let them be. And there's nothing wrong. We are all divine spirits. We're meant to have an interaction.
Right.
And then a lot of people got this misconstrued. Like they think that, you know, we believe as Muslims, we're Muslims, and they think that we believe in that you have to be married before intercourse. And that's something that we don't subscribe to, because you must know somebody before you marry. Like, if you're going to make a contract with them saying that we're going to go through this life together, why the world gonna do that? And we don't even know.
Can you just go
That's
on that a little bit? You know,
disaster.
because I feel like that, like, I'm so happy you said that, because I feel like that's where a lot of these, you know, marriages and like relationships go downhill, or they all over the place, because they didn't know what they was dealing with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Know what you're dealing with all the way around the board, especially there, because that's where the cheating and the infidelity, all of that stuff comes into play. But people don't want to talk about that, because you got all of these different concepts in religion and, you know, belief systems that is not supposed to happen prior to.
Exactly.
You know, so I'm happy you said that.
And I just want to say this: you would be really surprised at what you can get when you upfront and honest with people.
Right.
And that goes across the board in professionalism and personal life, like everything. Because it's like this: if somebody knows up front, then they can make a conscious decision on what's appropriate for them, what aligns with them. Because at the end of the day, a fool can play, a wise man can play a fool, but a fool cannot play a wise man.
Come on,
Right.
talk, because I play the fool a whole lot. Trust me.
Right.
You know, but in this world, that's another thing too. As this in this world, as a conscious woman, you got to play the fool on so many. And it's not that you really want to, but it's like you really have to, and it's not even on purpose. Like, even when it comes to, I'm gonna say, even comes to like dating. Like, I might see something, right, but you can't tell a person, because if you tell a person, then they'll do all the things to not show that. So now you gotta watch it happen.
Yeah.
Like, I just thought,
because you giving a recipe, you
That's
giving, like,
toxic trauma 101.
right. you telling a individual how to treat you.
exactly.
But you gotta let them pretty much
show
show you who
exactly.
they are.
It's
And I want to
exactly.
throw out there too: don't go for the potential. Be
That's my problem.
in love. Be in be in interest of what you see in front of you.
Right then and there.
Yeah,
Not
don't
what
go
you
for,
see
oh,
can
I
happen
see
in the
20
because I see
years,
God,
5
girl. I
years,
see
the
God.
next
Let me
week.
tell you, it's a couple of men I done came across, right, and I literally saw their God spirit. Like, I
Right.
literally saw who they were in the past life. I literally saw who they gonna be in the next life, and I literally saw what they could be now.
Right.
And it turned me on.
Yeah,
And
but
then-
don't fall. That's falling
But then you
victim.
forget that, hold on now, this person's still here in real life. They
Right.
don't even believe you.
Right.
They
And-
think you just talking some jibber jabber when you
Right.
say, I see the God you.
Right.
And they think you just, so it's like,
Yeah,
you
you see
on
the-
the
Yeah,
side.
you
see
gotta.
that?
You gotta.
You can see the king and them.
We see the
and
gods over
that's
here.
what
We
I'm
leave the
just
kings and the queens
saying.
down in the jungle on
I'm
Goddess Talk.
But what I'm just saying is, you see that. It's
So
just
she getting there.
the
She getting there,
level
sis.
is the
Lay it.
same
No,
level.
Be a little light.
No,
Be a little light on it. That-
For y'all on the camera, let me tell y'all. First of all, this is my sis.
Yes.
Ebony knows me. Like, she know me.
I
She
know. I'm
know
just
me.
saying, because you
And
hit me
she-
with the joint. You hit me like bow with a bat. I was like, okay, Goddess, it is. I'll let it go. You know, so I be correcting myself.
Nah,
you know,
man,
like,
don't, my
Let
bad.
me-
I ain't mean to hit you with
yo,
the bat,
it's
sis.
but you need that, you know, you sometimes you need it so it, because you look, you're gonna put it, you like, you're gonna get this. It's Goddess and God. That's what we are. Period.
But listen,
Right,
I
because
promise y'all,
that's
in my
just like-
mind, it don't be sounding so stern
No,
to
but
me.
but how
It was
else?
aggressive
But they
to me.
beat it out of us, so we got to be beat
I
into
promise
it.
you, like, in my mind, I'm saying it as sweet as could possible. In my
Listen,
mind,
y'all, I'm good. Listen, it wasn't aggressive to me. I'm
'Cause you
good.
know
I ain't
Yeah,
good.
know,
I be like,
listen.
dang, bro.
I'm gonna say y'all one thing. Okay?
Goddess,
I
bro.
got an auntie that's from Trinidad, and she don't play. Okay, with the aggression. You talking about and she from New York,
And they
as
just be
well,
playing,
okay?
too.
Listen, you don't know. I don't even want to talk about
why
it.
do I just
I'm
say
about to have to
me?
go do some inner child work just thinking about it.
Shout outs Listen, shout out to all my islanders. Listen,
That's right.
Cause I'm for Haitian. I'm Jamaican. I'm all of it.
Yes.
We got that
Yes,
Trinidad over here.
definitely.
So
You what?
we my grandfather, he's Haitian and Creole. Trinidad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now, my grandfather, though, he's really from Barbados. And then my side over here, my mom's side, we from these lands all like we didn't come from a different side. Like before the Europeans, we from here.
Right.
Like, we Geechees.
That
we
brings
from
me
here.
to when we get to the neighborhood, but when we talk about that.
Well, let's go there. Matter of fact, lead us on to our next.
These lands.
Yeah, look, so
This on my block.
right.
So
Okay.
now we about to we each y'all. We're gonna tell y'all what's going on our block. Because listen, as a goddess, all the goddesses out there on your spiritual journey, do not detach from your people. Do not detach for those that are still in the struggle. And it might be overwhelming. You might limit what you do, but do not completely detach because your light is needed.
Right.
And so, we keep
Absolutely.
our ears to the streets around here. We stay in our community. We stay in these streets. My family's still in the streets. I can't lie
Right,
to you.
man. Look, man.
So, that's just how it goes. So what's going on in your block?
Okay, so first things first, I want to shout out and send a happy heavenly birthday to Jawan Johnson.
Peace and love,
That's
Jawan.
Cherie Johnson. If you don't know, Given with a Golden Hand, that's her nephew. She lost him back in May due to gun violence.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to, shout out the family and just my light and my love is with y'all on today.
Peace, peace.
But I wanted to go into what you were saying about the land. So in Virginia Beach area, over on the other side, it was a situation maybe about a week or two ago. I was at the nonprofit and a conversation came up where a teacher actually had a student do a melanated student do a project or like an essay or something on where she was from.
Mm-hmm.
So she did it, and she said she was from the United States. So the teacher gave her an F, sent her with a letter. This was like on Facebook, everything. Like it was real big. She gave her an F. She told her that she wasn't correct, that she was from Africa, and it was like on a note, tell her mother that she needs to correct her paper because she's not from here. She's from.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah, and so the girl took her, took everything from her mom, took it to her mom and everything. And I don't really know all the consequences that came about from that, but what I do know is it brought a great deal of uproar. In fact, the same day or around the same time is when we talked and you educated me on the European aspect of it all, right? And it was, the mother was like, we are the original people from this land right here.
Exactly.
And Christopher Columbus didn't do anything but discover people was already here. You know what I'm saying? So
that's the only discovery.
Right.
It's people already here.
right. So it was a big uproar behind that. And in fact, the European people, a few people that advocated for, they advocate for us from time to time over there. They in fact asked the teacher to be removed and, for her to get penalized. But they also asked for the teacher to tell the European students to do their history,
right,
and say where
they not
came
from here, exactly.
Right. So, and then also that Africa is a continent, not a country.
Come on,
So she messed up on every angle of what she was trying to do, but it brought awareness.
I'm so glad you said that Africa is a continent and not a country thing,
right?
Because that's dismantled. So a lot of people come to me with that. Well, all right, well you say I ain't black, but I am African American. But there's no way possible because Africa is a continent. It has over 50 countries up there.
Right.
And so you can't.
You have to really do. See,
you
we
could be
that's
Nigerian American, or
right.
you could be Kenyan
right.
American.
And
but
if
there's no
you
way
look
possible
at when
you
the
could be African
Africans
American.
come here, they really. I'm not going to say all, but a vast majority feel a certain type of way about us, and we think it's for different reasons, but it's simply because we don't have the proper education. We're not educated properly on
but
who
they're not
from.
really they're losing they're a lot of the African world right now is highly under slavery and stuff. So they're thriving and they still are free, but they are freely holding on to the European.
Right.
Anytime I talked to, when I was living in Chicago, I had the honor of literally like talking to Africans like literally off the boot, like fresh, like straight out, and almost all of them, number one, were full blown Christians.
Right.
And they pray to a European Jesus. And so, when you think about that, it's like, okay, well, what's going on? Well, you got to think that a lot of power in Africa has sold to the Europeans.
Right, you're right.
Now, and so they did for money.
Right.
And so, even though they may have on the appearance that they're still holding it down, but if you think about it, the European has infiltrated a whole lot over there.
Right, and I have to agree.
And it's taken over.
Right.
And the fact of when they talking about now, they got to worry about fighting amongst each other, and they got places in Africa now the Europeans trying to say is white only.
Yeah, I've been watching a little bit of that as well. Cause
how you going to Africa doing this too?
Yeah. But see, it's just like, to me, it's like all of when the consciousness is low. Because they not doing, even though like we think like, okay, these people are poverty and they living off the land, those people are like so high consciousness.
They are rich.
We feel like, they're very rich, because rich is not always tangible.
They're
wealthy.
They're wealthy.
The wealth isn't just it doesn't rely in the cars and the money and all of that kind of stuff. The land, your legacy. Mm-hmm. These are true wealths of life to me, anyways.
They have exactly where we're headed back to, which is having your necessities in a material form,
right?
And being able to wear your consciousness.
That's right. And the barter and trade system is coming back.
Right.
What's going on your block? How much time we got, Loud? What's going on your block?
So I'm just getting back on my block. Y'all know I was, well, I don't know if y'all know, but I was looking to relocate out of state to either Georgia or Florida. Mm-hmm. And so I've been gone for a little while, and it just was not for me. Just everything that I was doing, and my footsteps kept leading me back to Virginia, so I'm back.
Hopefully back in business,
yes,
too.
Right. I'm back, so yes, business will be up and running. So definitely I'm going to make sure that, I get everybody up to speed. Because definitely what I would say is this, is I have been having a lot of support being in place on the back end for some things that I'm going to bring into fruition in the next 30 days.
That's right.
Oh,
so I don't want to speak on it because,
we know how to, right? And somebody might be out there.
But I'm just saying, I told y'all I got y'all, and I got y'all.
Y'all heard that? So our sis is back. Look out for her. She's going to be back. She does some of everything. She got business programs and stuff, so I can't wait to see what her surprise is and what she has going on.
That's right.
On my block, I actually was at a community event for giving back to the children. It was actually an effort of not only giving clothes and shoes and stuff back to the children, but it was also just, encouraging for the neighborhood to stop the violence, because downtown Newport News is going crazy right now. It's a lot of shootings. It's a lot of killings and things like that. When I was out there, I have a sister, a friend I'm close with, Uganda. Shout out to Uganda. She's running for city council.
Okay.
Anybody who look like us, I need you to go and vote for Uganda. She deserves it. This lady, she goes and sits in the spots where none of us is at. She goes and fights for the things that none of us are thinking about going to fight for. And so I got 100% support behind her. I want to throw her name out there any chance I get. Uganda, I don't care if you can't read. If you see a name on the ballot, they got a U. And it begins with a U. Click it. She the only one up there with Uganda. Why you? Oh, it's YU. Pardon me. YU. So she probably the only one up there with a Y too. So if you see that Y, just go ahead and click it. Y Uganda. That's it.
I thought he was saying
that's
why.
That's because it's Uganda. But anywho, she was educating us because the projects that we were out, Marshall Courts.
Okay.
And we were on 35th Street. And what she was telling us is that, well, the whole downtown, they're doing this gentrification thing.
Right.
So they're taking us, uprooting us out. They done brought the waterfront, and they're going to turn that into something, our livelihood, where we've been living, into something else, right?
Right.
So these projects, Marshall Courts, they started renovating most of them. But this specific area, she said that they're now, it's on the books and it has been approved that they're going to tear all of these ones down, right? And they're going to build single houses in this area. So what she is fighting for and what we're trying to do, because she definitely got my support in this ever since she told me, what we're trying to do is guarantee and make sure that those houses, though, stay affordable houses for us.
Right.
So we won't get uprooted from out of that area.
Right.
And those houses can still be for us.
Yes.
So that's what she's doing right now on our block. So Uganda, what's her last name, Loud?
Sample.
Uganda Sample. She's on Twitter. She's on Facebook. She's on Instagram. Go look her up. She has all the ways that you can vote for her, how you can support the cause, and how you can donate to the cause. But let's start, taking these type of steps, because we need to put our own.
Right.
Yes.
November 8th. Make sure you're out there.
I'm glad that you said that, because I was just thinking about how we don't take advantage of purchasing land.
That's what I was
Purchasing
speaking
land.
about that on the last episode,
we
because
don't
I
take
tried to
advantage
bring
of
that
purchasing
to a group
Right.
of people, because downtown land is still pretty cheap. You can't even, I'm not even gonna lie, but that would have been a wave like 10 years ago when I brought it to the group of people. That would have
Right.
been like the wave, and at
Right,
the
so
time
y'all
I was
gotta
like dead broke.
purchase it.
Like
Right.
I didn't have the money, but I had the thought.
Right.
So I was like, let me go reach the people that got the money, and let's turn this thought into something. They like, nah, KB, you tripping. Go ahead somewhere with that thought, girl.
And you know what? And that's really what's holding us back.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of that trauma bond that's holding us back, because
But don't even worry, because I'm working on it.
if
Yeah.
we just let's say you got a piece of land for $100, and you want to go buy it, but you don't have $100. You can go get 10 people that you know for sure got $10, and y'all go get that land and invest in it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the easiest way to
always
be
a way,
able
right?
to.
That's the
And
smartest
that
way.
is the easy
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
But no, we want to fight about. Oh no! If I put this 10 in, who
gonna
who
own
gonna
this
sleep in
part
this?
and
One?
all that?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have the biggest
Exactly.
room over there. That ain't what we get. Let's get the
That's when
horse
you know,
first.
When you know they ain't ready, man.
That's when you know they ain't ready.
Yeah.
That's our problem, because I love that. I rather know you're not
Yes.
ready than to be.
I don't think we're gonna make it
Right.
to our
Assume
last
something.
two, but we're gonna definitely cover this one. We'll definitely cover this one. So
What
I
was
want to
the
end it
other
on the little fun one. A little fun.
Oh, the whole.
Yeah, I just want to end it on that. And I also, Ebony said something earlier. She was like, great things happen today. And I woke up, and if you go and look on my thing, I said that great things was gonna happen.
Loud facts, that's how it goes.
She
And
said
it
great
did.
things happen. Great things been happening. I woke up. I took a dope photo shoot. I'm gonna show y'all the pictures afterwards. After the
Yes,
show, I
that's
took a
great.
dope photo shoot. I'm so excited about that.
Okay.
I got to shout out my photographer Nate Thompson. We're definitely trying to build his clientele. He's definitely dope. Also, let's shout out also Tina too, because is she doing it like for hire?
Oh yeah, so she's doing the back to school, the homeschool, or just any type of
Lots of
seasonal.
photography.
Yeah, she got Tina be snapping.
Tina be snapping.
And also get her for your vlogging. So like if you're a braider, if you do any type of hands-on work and you want, or your products, if you're vending and you want to blog like the process and stuff like that, she is perfect for that. I mean, Tina
So
be
Nate-
snapping entertainment.
Pardon me, I mean.
No, you good, babe.
So Nate hooked me up with the photos. We had a beautiful session. Then I come home. I hops on Twitter. Now, let me tell y'all something. If you don't know me by my battle rap, but anybody who know me and know my battle rap, everybody know that 40 Bars is my favorite female battle rapper. Your girl been talking to me all day on Twitter. Your girl just been talking to me all day. On salute. Shout out to 40 Bars. Big shout out to 40 Bars. We love you here in the VA. Listen, your girl been talking to me. And listen, I can't wait till I'll work my way up and hopefully one day she'll grace me with a battle and that whole battle. I'm say, yeah, I was a fan, and I still am. That's not gonna be an angle she can use because I'm gonna hold on to that angle.
Right.
You right. I am a fan. And I love you. But shout out to 40 Bars. I feel like that's so dope. But y'all, are y'all on TikTok?
No.
Oh man, I'm the only TikToker up here.
I'm
I
not
see for the
I
TikTok.
need to. I need to
can't
get
do
into
it.
TikTok.
You need to, especially with what you do.
I use it for research purposes, but I don't actually post any content on it. But I really need to just because I know it's gonna be the easiest way for me to
Blow up.
help y'all.
Yes. So they got a
Help
filter
us.
up there, right? And it's called She-Hulk. So it's after, they got the new TV show, the She-Hulk, right?
Right.
Yes.
And so the filter, it turns you green,
Yes.
right? Now, don't get mad loud.
Please.
This is the TikTok problem, right? Or trend, right? Europeans, they feel like it don't look right on them. They all feel like it makes them look ugly, right? It do make them kind of look kind of funny, I ain't gonna lie. But that's their own personal feeling. This is what they all are posting. This not what nobody else saying. This is what they're saying about themselves. It's making me look ugly. But on us, every single melanated person that them put it on their filter is like giving.
Bomb.
It's giving life. It's
Bomb.
giving. This was our original
But
hue.
let me ask, why
It's
is
giving
this?
who we were.
Why is this?
It's
though?
giving we were the original aliens.
Right.
And it's because we are like, it really, really, really gets deep, y'all. If you really, really, really want to understand what's going on around you, just stop and just look at who we are and our DNA and our structure and start from there. You just want to go and keep going further and further and further because it's our blood is originally green in tone. It's not red. It's red once it hits the oxygen.
I was about to say melanin itself is green.
Right, it is.
And then when according to science,
it is.
what we're looking at in our skin is simply the oxidation.
Yep.
And so and that's why they say the saying is the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. That's where that whole saying comes from because the deeper that the hue is, right?
Right.
That's showing
more
that there's
melanin
more
in there.
oxidation that's going on. There's more melanin for that to happen. So that's where that whole thing come from. And I think that I had to do mine, And I was like, shut pop, and I had to take my glasses off when I was like, ooh, okay. I felt the bomb because I'm like, ooh, is this what I look like? Is this what I look like?
I'm gonna have to try it. Okay, y'all. So for my first TikTok I post, it's gonna be the She-Hulk.
The She-Hulk, cause she be hulking.
Listen, right. And green is my favorite color, so you know.
Green
Yeah,
for
I'm
the
a fan of
money.
green, yeah.
So yes, I think that we had a beautiful show once again. I think that we had dope topics. All of those that was on caffeine. I see you. Shout out, Mama. I was glad that you came through. I'm glad you came on caffeine too because I got it on my Twitter. She my Twitter friend. So it was the 6 people. That's okay on caffeine. I am moving up in life. Listen, caffeine.
They keep coming back.
I am moving
Consistency and
up.
all that
Keep
matters.
consistent. Y'all
Yes.
keep on tuning in. Actually, you could call in any Saturday. Our phone number is 757 964 9367. And so I'm going to end it with our quote. And our quote is, time never was where man was not. The time is ours. The time is now. Stop playing with our time.
That's right.
Peace, peace, y'all.
Yes, peace.
Oh, are we ended?
Go ahead.
You want to go ahead and let the people know where they can find you at on social media? Because y'all know where we at. Twitter, Mobitus L, TikTok, Mobitus L, Instagram, Moorish Beauty, and then, of course, Facebook, Kimbria L.
Okay, so y'all can find me on Facebook at Eb Cruz. So E, be like boy, Cruz. Listen, that's the corporate of me, y'all.
Be like boy, be like boy.
But you can also find me on Instagram under Eb_the THEE_healer. That's just like a little inside joke because my students used to call me Eb the Stallion.
Eb the Stallion.
Yeah, so
Meg the Stallion.
and shout out to them because honestly, in becoming a trainer and put my hands on so many people, it really has changed my outlook on life and be able to have so much insight onto every type of walk of life that there is. And it's like, for you to be able to have that type of impact on people and not even know it. So like, I go into a store and I see people and they still come up to me and tell me how, you know, I help them by helping them, you know, keep their job, and I help them by showing them how to sell, and they're now selling houses and they're doing this and they're doing that. And I'm like, wow, like I was just trying to pour into y'all, and I had no idea that those little 8 hours that we were spending with each other every day was making this sort of impact. And so if I can do that for the 6 years worth of people that I touched, imagine what you can do in your own community, on your own block.
Talk that talk. And then the last thing I'm going to end y'all with, right, because actually I want to show y'all how to be scientists and how to recognize stuff. Y'all just saw this episode. Y'all saw the God and the goddesses, right, control the ethers. Y'all saw us have passionate conversation and get back to the one. Y'all saw us come back and end this on the same level of chord. And that's how God is. We ain't here to sugarcoat nothing. Right. It ain't like, you know, goddesses, we get furred too. What they say, the wrath of God is crazy, right?
Yeah. That's
so, you know, don't that's real talk. So that's not, goddess is not all this,
that's right. Let them know.
Because sometimes you got to smack somebody too.
You got to go to that low vibration.
That's all I'm saying, you know?
It's
so
a
just
balance.
know. It's a balance. But y'all just watch some real gods and goddesses control the ethers and show y'all how we can have passionate subjects and touch on passionate things. And I want y'all to let y'all know that nothing that was said today on this episode was geared towards any hate towards the Europeans or towards the Asiatics of the world. And I want y'all to know that it's all love. Love is the only savior of the world.
That's right.
And the truth is the only thing that'll set us free.
That's right.
Peace.
Powered by Virginia Radio.